I'm a previous student. I finished in 2012. I went to University of Surrey after that. I studied mechanical engineering. I recently just graduated and I'm now starting looking for a career to start as an engineer. So 5 years ago, I was in the exact same position as I imagine many of you are in right now. You come to the end of school, you're about to leave, go off to university, and the last few years when I've been at university have literally been an amazing time. It's been so much fun, it's been the best time of my life. However, there were parts of it at times where it wasn't so easy, and I really struggled. I've recently become aware of how much easier it could have been if I had the opportunity to go back and speak to myself now, when I was 16 or 17, and just give the advice that I could give to myself from what I've learned. One of the main parts that I found difficult was from the age of 16 to 19. I suffered with a severe social anxiety and had very little awareness of, I didn't even know what anxiety was, and had very little awareness of mental health issues and how much they can affect relatively normal people. For years, I suffered in complete silence and confusion, trying to come to terms and understand what was going on with me completely on my own. Got to a point where I was completely broken by it. I could no longer hide it and started to reach out to my friends and family. It was only then that I found out what anxiety was, what was happening to me, and just knowing that, and that it happened to loads and loads of people, just knowing that made such a difference, and really started my road to recovery. So my anxiety would go up and down, from pretty severe to not really affecting me at all. However, when I went to university, a combination of how everything is suddenly different, your life's been completely turned upside down, you're shoved in a new place, new friends, new environment, and the fact that there's a lot of pressure on yourself and from other areas for everything to be, go fine. And it made my anxiety really bad, and it was, got really debilitating. There were periods of time where I couldn't speak to people. I couldn't leave my room or even answer the phone without feeling anxious or having an anxiety attack. It got so bad that I really got to breaking point where I couldn't function, and every day was becoming a real struggle. So I've been thinking for a long time to try and come up with a way of describing what it actually feels like to be feeling anxious or have an anxiety attack. We all experience anxiety in everyday life. If you're going to give a presentation, like on 5 minutes ago, probably feeling a little bit anxious. If you're got an exam coming up, if you've got an important phone call, you're going to be feeling anxious. Your palms might get sweaty, your breathing might get a little bit sharper, your heart rate might increase. And as I said, this is completely normal. But imagine now that you've done something really bad at school. Mrs. Peak is taking you into her office. She's giving you a good tell off, and she says, "I'm going to ring your parents later to tell you about what you've done." If you were sitting there at home that evening, and the phone rings, you're about to, it's Mrs. Peak about to tell your parents you're going to be upset, she's probably angry with you. You're going to be feeling, pretty anxious at that point. Your palms are going to be really sweaty, your heart's going to be racing, your stomach might knot up, you might feel a bit sick. You're going to want to be anywhere other than in that room, right then and right now, right there. Well, that feeling would happen to me constantly when my anxiety was really bad. It gets to a point where this would happen where my phone would ring, it would be my mum on the phone, and I'd get that feeling of complete dread. Someone would knock on my door in the morning and say, "Ollie, what are you doing today?" and have that feeling. If I was sitting in a lecture, if I was eating food in front of people, even sometimes when I was just sitting there, like watching TV with my closest friends, I'd have that feeling for seeing no reason. At this point, I had literally no idea what was happening to me. I hadn't told anyone, and I really just kept it hidden in the hope that it would go away. I come from an open family, I've got really close friends, and not someone who usually shies away from talking about my feelings. But for some reason, this was difficult. At times I thought I might have had something physically wrong with me that was making me feel, making these things happen, and at other times I thought I was going completely mad. I really thought at first the only person, I was the only person in the world this was happening to. I didn't understand it myself, I couldn't begin to imagine explaining it to someone else. And even if I could, I didn't think anyone would be able to do anything at all to help me. Underlying this, as I said, I just gone to university, and you've got this massive pressure. You think, as I imagine most of you do now, the opportunity at university is going to be amazing, you're going to be away with your friends, new place, you can finally be really stuff. And as much as all of that is true, there's a big old pressure on you when you don't feel okay, and when stuff starts going wrong, that it's not all going as planned, how you thought it was going to go. And as I said, so when this was all happening to me, I really just wanted to hide it away, act like it was not happening, and fingers crossed it will go away in time. But as I say, it got to the point where I knew I was just going to keep ignoring it. So I decided I was going to go home for the weekend, and at some point, speak to my mum about what was happening. It took me until the journey back in the car, back to uni, to actually pluck up the courage to tell her. I thought I'd be greeted with her being pretty shocked and worried, and being able to offer me no sort of help. And after explaining what was happening to me, it was then the first time that I'd heard the word anxiety. She said to me, "You're suffering from anxiety issues." It's something that thousands of people struggle with, and it's one of the main reasons that people go and seek therapy and counselling. From that moment onwards, everything got so much better. Most importantly, she told me to tell people and speak openly about it, and not to continue to be ashamed and hide it. When I got back to uni, I contacted the Student Welfare Centre and spoke to someone who could give me proper information about what was going on, and that there was loads of help out there that I could seek to try and make things better. A huge part of things which made it easier for me that I could finally put a name to what was going on. For years I just had this, this thing that was happening to me that I couldn't work out. I had no idea what was happening, and as far as I knew, I was, as I said, the only person that it was happening to. But to suddenly be able to say to someone, "I have anxiety issues," made everything so much easier. And when I started to be more open and speak out about it, I found that people weren't judgmental like I thought they'd be, but like 100% of everyone I spoke to about it has just been supportive and wanted to help. From this moment on, as I say, my anxiety has become less and less a negative part of my life. It didn't happen overnight, and it still affects me to this day, but it's something that I'm completely aware of, and it's nowhere near as bad as it used to be. There are a lot of you sitting here who may go through life completely unaffected by what I'm speaking to you guys about, but I can guarantee that at some point you will encounter someone who is struggling with this sort of thing. Being aware of it and being able to reach out to someone who might be going through a rough time could have a huge impact on them, especially if, like me, they have no idea what they're going through themselves. One of the things which really helped me to deal with my anxiety was knowing what it is that's actually happening in your body when you're feeling anxious and having an anxiety attack. It was obvious to me that part of what was going on was completely in my head, but at the same time I had massive physical effects that I was feeling when I was having an anxiety attack, and the biggest one for me was that I was feeling sick. And a lot of the time I would be sick. I've been sick so many times in so many awful places because of this anxiety thing. So you may have heard of the fight or flight response. It's your body's prehistoric reaction to danger, and it helps you survive in life-threatening situations. When you're in danger, your body goes into survival mode. Your brain releases chemicals like adrenaline. Your heart starts beating faster. Your breathing starts getting sharper. Your blood draws away from parts of your body you don't need anymore, like the digestive system, to get as much blood to your muscles so you're ready to fight or flight. And when this thing happens in appropriate situations, it can be really beneficial and useful. Like I said, it helps you to survive life-threatening situations. But problems can occur when this sort of thing happens when the situation doesn't match. When I was having my anxiety attacks, I wasn't actually being attacked by a saber-toothed tiger or a woolly mammoth like our ancestors did when my phone rang, but my body was having the exact same physiological response. And with nowhere for all that energy to go, it could feel really horrible and really scary. Being able to understand what it actually was happening to me made it a lot easier to reassure myself that I was going to be okay. When I have an anxiety attack now, I'm aware there's an irrational sense of fear and panic I'm experiencing. I know that I feel sick, which is, as I say, the biggest part of my anxiety. That's happening because, as I said, blood is getting drawn away from my stomach and going to my muscles, and it doesn't actually mean that I'm going to be sick. And most importantly, I know that it will pass if I give my body time to calm down, and it makes the whole experience much less severe, much more manageable. So my goal in coming here today really wasn't to put fear into any of you about going off to university or anything like that. University was literally the best time of my life, and I wouldn't change anything about it, the good and bad. Going through university is going to grow so much, especially dealing with the things that I've been speaking about with you today. I just want you guys to be aware that it's okay to not be okay. If you're struggling, reach out and let people know. Mental health issues are incredibly difficult to open up about. It can be very scary and very lonely. Since I've come to terms with the concept of my issues, I speak up openly, and I've literally been amazed at how many people have been affected by the sort of things that I have. Some studies say, as the man said, that 25% of university students suffer from social anxiety at some point in university. Whether you're suffering from anxiety, stress, depression, or anything else, be aware and seek support, and these issues couldn't be stopped from growing into something which can have like a big negative effect on your life. Going into uni was the best decision I've ever made. Originally I really didn't know if it was what I wanted to do. I felt like I ended up there because I was pushing to family in school, so like I imagine a lot of you guys usually do 11 plus in year 6 track people who are now going into university, and when I was there I struggled with that, and I thought maybe this isn't what I want to do. I'm stuck in a path that wasn't my choice, and I'm sort of being restricted. But what I've realised now after going through university is all it does is open doors. Like in the position I'm in now, I've just graduated with a degree, I can literally do whatever career I want to go into. Whereas with, one thing I wanted always was I might like being a barber. When I was at uni, not enjoying it, I thought, why don't I go to be a barber and give that a go. But now if I really wanted to, I can just as easily go and do that. But I have the opportunity to pick and choose and do whatever I want to do. And I want to finish off with 3 little bits of advice just about university. Firstly was don't be afraid to reach out. Reach out to people around you and seek support if you need it. Secondly, would be to get stuck in, and I definitely recommend joining a society, like a sport or anything like that. I was part of a rugby club all the way from university, and I really can't imagine my life now without it. And thirdly, enjoy yourself, don't get too stressed out, but have a lot of fun. But if you do have work to do it when you have it to do it. Don't leave it to the last minute, because it makes everything a whole lot worse. That's exactly what I did. Just to finish off, if anyone wants to get in contact with me at all, if you've got any questions and they want to ask about university or mental health stuff that we're talking about, I guess if you go to it would be to email. I imagine I can really sort that out from this week. But yeah.